Welcome to Password. This is a new visual novel we're starting on the channel here. All the art you see and the writing is by Grizz. He has a Patreon and I'll put a link in the description if you'd like to check that out and maybe help support him a bit. It's a lot of fun so far. I've been playing it. So we're just going to start up a new game here. So it contains graphic content, mature themes including explicit nudity, sex and limited gore. Yeah, so I'll be doing the censor boxes when and if needed just to make it YouTube friendly. But of course you can always see everything if you actually play the game yourself, as the creators intend. This isn't a conventional story and is intended to be played multiple times for the best experience. Characters can and will die as part of the narrative. Who, how and why all depend on how you play. Interesting. So we'll be doing at least a couple of routes on this. I haven't really gone that far ahead and decided how to do this, but yes, this is going to be a interesting one to play. It's like pretty much everything I'm doing, it's a work in progress, so these are maybe going to be kind of recordings of things that don't exist in a while, because Grizz will be playing around with things and sprites might change and all that kind of thing. So yeah, it's best to keep in touch with the Patreon, and well, if you don't want to support, you can at least follow it and play as he does public updates as well, and then you can see how things are going and improving. And what's your name? For various reasons I'm going to go with the default. Day 1. Man, why did we have to meet up so early? Today is the first day after school officially ended for the year. For a lot of us, this was possibly going to be the last time we'd see each other for a long time. Still, we figured we may as well go out with a bang, or at the very least do something one last time as a group before we went our separate ways. Well, there was another reason why this seemed like such a good idea. Coffee. Why didn't I stop to get coffee? As if on cue, a familiar face rounded the corner, looking behind him a large suitcase along with a cardboard tray with 2 cups of coffee. Hey, you look conscious? The boar in front of me snickered to himself before holding out the tray. At the very least, like you could use this coffee. He gently shook the tray at first when I didn't take my coffee immediately. Thanks, Roswell. As I brought the cup to my mouth, I could smell the sweet ambrosia that was freshly brewed coffee. Was I becoming too much of an adult already? Still, the morning air was crisp and the warmth took the edge off. Roswell was just staring by this point, having dropped his bag and cupping his drink in both hands. Why are you staring? You aren't excited? Roswell and I have known each other for a long time. Well, since childhood, really. We've grown apart over the past couple of years just due to differences in study and life stuff, but here he was as if for any other day. Oh, I'm excited, I guess. You don't seem it. Yeah. Just wait until this coffee kicks in. The pair of us stood around in silence while we drank our coffee. When I was about halfway done with my drink, another voice called out to us. Hi, we're here! Wearing an energetic smile, Orlando jogged over with a large backpack that seemed to clang about as he bounced over. Following behind at a slow mosey was a very tired-looking crocodile. Oh, hey! Orlando's energy was already wearing me out. Gotta finish my coffee. Oh, good morning. The dragon and boar high-fived each other before turning to watch Sal get closer, hands flexing around the handle of his duffel bag before he sat it down. Morning. How are you, Sal? Good. His attention was drawn elsewhere, it seemed, but Sal wasn't much of a talker as it was. Maybe he was still waking up too. It was hard to say. Well, I'm great, trust me. Been looking forward to this for a while. It's going to be great not have to worry about classes, to say the least. Oh, I know, right? I was just saying to Dave before about how excited I was. But he's still making his way through his coffee. I grumbled audibly, causing the two to laugh. Only 3 more we're waiting on. Well, that and the bus. Oh yeah, you invited Dean along too, right? And Hoss, yeah. Figured he'd get a kick out of this too. Wait, who's the third though? Before I could answer, yet another voice called out to us. Hey, hey! I'm not late, right? Bloody alarm didn't go off. Well, it did, but not loud enough, I guess. Dean kicked the ground, hands buried in his pockets. Important was that he was here before the bus left. Wasn't if he was the last one to arrive, anyway. How are you, Dean? Tired. Very tired. Any of that coffee left? Awkward glances were shared around before Dean's eyes settled on the cup in my hands, and a smile started forming. Hey, Dave. Dean began to suggestively move his eyebrows, as he was prone to doing when he wanted to get his way, or at least what he wanted. Mind if I have a sip of that? My eyes narrowed. I could feel them doing that. I swear I had no control. Well, I did, let's face it. I wasn't going to share this with anyone. Hey, big guy, don't sweat it. Almost as suddenly as it appeared, Hoss was handing off a cup of coffee to Dean, who took it and began to drink, although he seemed none too happy about its source. Morning, Hoss. Sleep well? Of course. Have to always get my beauty rest in. Can't afford having crow's feet at my age. Hoss has always been careful about his appearance, or the way he groomed himself. You'd swear he was just some fashionista. Really, though, his aspirations were the big screen, and his own words, looks were everything. Long time no see, Hoss. How are you excited? Well, when I heard what we were going to be doing, I figured throw the irony to the side and hop on board. You know, no point in looking a gift horse in the mouth. What are we doing? You weren't told, Dean. Mansion. Sal wasn't wrong, although leaving out a bigger part of what actually was going on. Yeah, the mansion. Mansion! I organised it through some family connections. You know, the mansion. Mansion! Roswell, you didn't pull some kind of demonic contract thing to set all of this up, did you? Roswell laughed it off, and for the first time since arriving, Orlando's excitement seemed to die down a little, without confirmation that this wasn't some sort of otherworldly vacation. It wasn't, right? The bus pulled up soon after, with the question remaining unanswered. Sal loaded his things on first, followed by Roswell, then Orlando hurriedly after, still seeking an answer. Well, whatever reason we got this deal, I'm happy. It'll be nice. Hoss followed the others onto the bus, leaving Dean and I the only ones left on the curb. So, Dean was fidgeting, looking uneasy about something. He didn't really give stock to the whole demon thing, right? Hey, I was joking about the demon thing. You know that, right? Oh, yeah, that's not it. Just... Dean dropped his bag off his shoulders, placing both his big hands on my shoulders. He was wearing this sly smile, wanting to say something. Right as he opened his mouth to speak, his smile became a snarl, looking past me to the source of some hurried footfalls fast approaching. What is he doing here? Oh. The wolf slowed to a jog, then a walk, eyes flicking up to the bus and the faces of the others peering out the window down at the new arrival. Much like Dean, they shared the same look. Hey! Tyson's eyes flicked back down to mine. Just in time, yeah? Dean threw his bags into the bus and hopped on board, grumbling. Hey, Tyson. Hey, yourself. You said it first. Oh, yeah, well... Tyson was the last person we were waiting on, and honestly there was a very good reason why I hadn't told the others he was coming. Roswell only agreed I could invite an extra and didn't push for details. A blessing in disguise, given Ty's reputation. Well? That's good to see you. I don't think I'll be making any friends, though. Oh? Yeah, but that's all right. Easier that way. Hey, thanks for the invite. Tyson loaded his things onto the bus and I followed suit. I watched as Ty pushed down the aisle, sitting at the very back away from all the others, a few rows of seats between him and the next closest. Yeah, everybody comfortable? All right, buckle in. This is going to take a good couple of hours. Without so much as a second thought, the bus lurched and we were off. I took a seat midway down the bus and sat back. This was as good a time as any to catch up on some sleep before we arrive. As it turned out, though. So, tell me about this place, Dave. It's a mansion, yeah? Yeah. Roswell pulled some strings and got permission to let us all stay there for a month. You know, get a taste of the high life. Wait, so Roswell's loaded? How much does it cost to rent a mansion for a month? Why are you asking me? Roswell's right there. I looked over and sure enough the boy was listening in, broad grin on his face. Yep, got it for a steal too. What did it cost us? Oh, you know, only our souls. Sure enough, Roswell laughed as soon as Orlando's complexion paled. Oh, poor guy looked like he's about to faint. At least it distracted Orlando enough, the dragon deciding to pester Roswell as to whether or not he was telling the truth. Sal was off to the side, just looking out the window and paying no one any mind. Hoff seemed to be reading a magazine and Dean was fiddling with something on his phone. Then, right at the back, was Ty, who was stretched out over the seats, watching everyone else on the bus and looking bored. Let's talk to Sal. I figured if anyone wasn't going to talk my ear off, and at the very least give me a clean break if I needed it, it'd be Sal. Hey, Sal. Sal? What? He sounded tired and eyed me off carefully. I didn't think I was being that much of a bother. But was I becoming too much like Orlando? Like Roswell? Just checking in. Oh, all right. Sal's never been much of a conversationalist, but he's placid enough. That said, he can be a little tactless, and it's hard to know what exactly he's feeling, but he's nice enough. Chances are if the two would talk, he'd get on well with Tyson, but that wasn't likely going to happen. I hear there's a gym there. The mansion, I mean, and a pool. Sal's eyes lit up, although he remained looking out as the scenery passed by. He didn't seem up to conversation. I returned to my chair. Let's go see if Ty wants to say anything. Better make him feel somewhat involved, eh? With Tyson all the way at the back, we could have a private conversation without the need of the others necessarily listening in. Besides, I feel like I owe him an apology. I could feel his eyes bore into me as I got closer, the gentle switch of his tail signalling that he was at least relaxed. Hey. I sat down next to Tyson, although he made no effort to move his legs, if anything spreading himself out further. Oh, what's up? Oh, nothing. How's the bus going? Just fine. Why? Worried about me? My eyes trailed down just enough to notice the lewd gesture he was making with his hands. I thought I brought that back up quick enough that he didn't notice. Yeah, I was wrong. I knew it. I'm out of your league, though, pup. I'm not. Are you confessing to me, Dave? Again he roared with laughter, and looking back I could see a few sets of eyes on us, giving us disapproving looks. Ty wasn't so much a lusty dog as just someone that knew how to push buttons. If we were talking lewd, that'd be more Dean style. That said, Ty was a bully, or was when we first met. Somehow I managed to get out of being a target of sorts for his cruelty. That didn't mean the others were immune. You wish. Ty rolled his eyes and settled back in. I really hope I don't regret extending the invitation out to him. Can't let him monopolise my time while we're there too. I approached Hoss carefully. He He seemed to be enjoying the magazine without anyone else bothering him, but I figured it was at least polite to check in. Good magazine. Oh, yeah, that's pretty good. He closed it with a snap and threw it on the seat beside him. It looked new, some sort of gossip magazine maybe. Picked it up on the way to the bus. I didn't think the 7-Eleven would be carrying this issue, but they were, so I bought it. Standard stuff though. Columns about what's in, what's not, who's dating who and what. You know, normal stuff. That kind of stuff is useful? Sorta. Good to keep up to date on what's happening. But other than that, it's just for fun. Hoss picked up the magazine again, flicking through it until he was near the end. Also has, crosswords, the basic puzzles, a quiz. Has the horoscopes in here too if you want yours read. Yeah, I'll pass, thanks. Oh, you're welcome to it if you're bored. After I'm done, of course. Maybe. I'll let you know. Oh, before I forget. I followed his glance back towards the end of the bus. What's the deal with him? Oh, Ty? He's a friend, I guess. A friend, huh? Well, so long as he doesn't go making any trouble, we should be fine. Oh, right, you probably only heard what he's done given you moved here at the start of the year, right? I moved here sooner. Started at the school at the start of the year, remember? But yeah, guy carries a reputation. I promise he's fine. Mostly. Really. Yes, we'll see then. If you reckon he's alright, I'll give him a chance. That's what he's getting, yeah? Seems fair. I'll let you go back to the magazine. I might go get a nap before we arrive. With how you look clutching that coffee, I'd say you need some rest. Hoss patted my shoulder and went back to his magazine. I went back to my chair to figure out if it was nap time or not. Time for some sleep. I settled into my chair and closed my eyes. Figured the best way to pass the time would be get some sleep. If we were going to be on the road for a few hours, may as well not be cranky when we arrive. I got to sleep easily enough, the excited chatting by Orlando and Roswell being most of what made up the white noise. I must have been asleep the whole way, so the next thing I felt was warmth and the smell of honey. As I opened my eyes, I received another wave of warm honey air on my face and locked eyes to Dean, who was only inches away. What? Wait, hey, personal space. Dean let himself get pushed back. No way was I moving that much spare without spending a lot of time at the gym. We're pulling up to the mansion now. I figured I should wake you. Sure you were, Dean, sure. He sheepishly grinned and went back to his chair, shooting me a look before he turned away. The driveway was long and parted the trees of the forest surrounding the place. I didn't know much about the specifics of where we were going. After all, it's a fancy mansion. Who questions these things? The bus came to a stop, pulling up opposite the front door, and we started to pile out. Tyson was the last to leave, and I figured that was both to swap my rear and to not cause any hassles with anyone else. We looked up to the mansion, all of us standing there just outside the bus with our bags. This was going to be our house for the next month. If the excitement hadn't set in before, it was now. This place is amazing. I know, this is the best. The two of them seemed to be enjoying themselves. It's big. No kidding. Those two are on the money, although Dean must have been stunned if he didn't follow that one up with some sort of suggestive comment. Don't see myself living in something like this. I figure something more modern. Makes you feel like a king, that's for sure. Still, don't reckon I'd be happy living here forever. Good thing it isn't forever then, Ty. The driver hopped off the bus and stretched, looking around to make sure everyone and everything had left the bus. Well, I see you got all your things. I'll be heading off then. Enjoy. I'll be back in a month. With nothing more than a salute, the driver got back on the bus and drove away. Well, we're here. Enjoy, everyone. Roswell led the way up the large stairs leading up to the front door, knocking briskly. We all filed along behind, watching as the door opened to reveal a butler, sharply dressed and seemingly getting on in years. Good day, everyone. Master Roswell, I presume? That's me. Very good. If you'll all follow me, we can get you settled in. Can we have a look around, or a tour? I don't need a tour. Just point me in the direction of the room I'm staying in. I shuffled uneasily. I could feel the others give Ty the evil eye, but now wasn't the time to make comment. Besides, Ty had a thick enough skin he'd be able to take a few nasty looks. With a polite bow, the butler gestured up the stairs. You'll find living quarters just up the stairs on the first floor. Additional facilities exist on the floor above and in the garden outside. I'm going to go take a look around. Are we meeting up for dinner, lunch? Well, probably not a bad idea. Gives us a chance to stretch our legs and check out where we're living, assuming that's allowed. So long as you refrain from damaging the estate, wandering is allowed. Please do be careful, though. I shall arrange refreshments to tide you over until dinner. So we all broke away to have a look around the place. First up was the first floor, where we promptly found our rooms to drop our bags off. From there we were free to explore the mansion as we pleased. Let's start at the top and go down. There was another level above where the bedrooms were, and according to the butler, that's where the other things were. I climbed the stairs and ran to both Hoss and Roswell, the pair seemingly at the end of a spirited talk about how they were finding the place. This place is pretty ritzy, Dave. They even have one of those fancy glass sitting rooms on this floor. Glass sitting room? I think it's called a conservatory. At least that's what I think it was in that board game. Honestly, don't know, but it's relaxing, has some great acoustics. I might practice some lines in there later. There's a museum too. Well, it's more like a trophy room. There's a bunch of old things on display. Hoss I met at the start of the year properly. Apparently some failed TV star was planning on moving into the neighbourhood. Never thought it'd be someone like him. Apparently the reality TV show he was planned to be on got axed. Funnily enough, turns out one of Dean's cousins was also planned to be on the show. Kinda how we ended up crossing paths. The day we met, I wandered into an improv session by accident and had good energy. Hoss has used me as a sounding board for lines ever since. As for Roswell, we met as kids. He's really into magic back then. Not so much the occult stuff, but more street magic, card tricks and all that. It's a shame they don't have a skeleton on display. That'd probably take up too much space. Well, not only that, but I'm sure you'd be bugging Sal or Orlando to come stand by it for the sake of comparison, right? Hey, doesn't need to be a dinosaur skeleton. Although now that you mention it... there's also a library up here too. One of those big ones. Looks like it might go across a couple of floors too. I didn't really check it though. And a small study too. Wonder what they needed with all these things. Who used to live here anyway? Don't ask me, I don't know. Wait, so this is one of your folks' houses, or any of your relatives? Well, maybe. I don't really remember the details, only that my parents said it was okay and they handled the rest from there. You don't remember whose house this is? I was just so excited I kinda stopped listening partway through the conditions we used the place. After all, when you get told you can spend a month on a vacation with everything paid for, who needs to worry about details? Well, the butler seemed to be expecting you, so I'm sure we're allowed to be here. Now you've got me curious. Maybe there's something around that'll tell us whose place this is? I suppose we could ask the butler when we see him next, right? Yeah, so we'll all know at dinner at the very least, right? No harm done. Hoss shook his head with a sigh, but he was still smiling. I'm going to keep looking around up here for a bit. Me too. Alright, I'll catch you guys later then. Figuring that we were staying on the first floor, it made sense to check out what else was on the same level. Each of us had our own rooms, which, while not surprising, did feel a little lonely. Usually hotels and such bunked up as many people as they could to maximise the space. This was hardly the same. There were so many rooms though, probably for the staff of the mansion. Speaking of, the staff seemed scarce. Shy of that one butler, that is. Maybe they were on vacation. The place seemed clean enough that there must have been others around to at least maintain the place. Still, given the amount of rooms, we seemed to have spread out among those available. I guess we were looking for privacy. Maybe it just ended up that way. Searching the floor with no one to talk to was lonely. No point sticking around here. The ground floor of the mansion didn't seem all that exciting. Well, at least as far as activity. Standard affair of what you'd actually expect for a classy hotel, really. Orlando peeked his head over a swinging door, gesturing me to come closer. Hey, come check this out. Almost as soon as he'd appeared, he disappeared back into the room he'd emerged from. Hey, Orlando, where did you... I realised as soon as I'd gone close to the door. The sounds, the smells, it was clear what room this was. I found the kitchen. He gestured wide before jogging over to a large cabinet running the length of one of the walls. It's got anything you could hope for in the way of ingredients, even the expensive stuff. What, are we talking like caviar or something? Well, kind of. Think saffron, truffles, that sort of thing. Although there might be caviar in the fridge. Have you had caviar before? Can't say I have, although to be honest, it isn't really something that interests me too much. Orlando was all about the baking, right from the day that we met. Sometimes he'd have this lingering cinnamon scent about him, and the bread that he makes is the fluffiest you could imagine. Something about the yeast liking how warm his hands are when he's kneading the dough. Were you interested in trying it? I don't know. Just figured a place like this would have caviar, you know. Mansion. Still, gonna see if I can use this space to do some baking later. Have to keep my skills sharp after all, right? Oh, give me a shout when you do. Oh, and if you're baking, cookies? Sure, I can do cookies. Probably not a bad idea if we get peckish, just in case they decide to start bidding us. Somehow see some of the others accidentally giving caviar a try as a midnight snack. Are you the only one here? I haven't seen anyone else on this level of the mansion. Pretty sure. I think I passed Dean and Sal when they're heading out back. Honestly, I can't say I was paying that much attention. Well, alright then. Might continue exploring and see what else is around. Take care. I'll see you at dinner, I'm sure, assuming I don't cook it myself. With a hearty laugh, Orlando waved me off and I continued wandering. There was apparently a lower level to this place, and after a bit of searching I found the stairs leading down. God, it's dark down here. Isn't there a light? As if answering my question, the light flicked on. A large area similar to the foyer with various other rooms connecting off it. The hairs on the back of my neck started to stand on end. I felt something watching me, and then suddenly the heavy hands on my shoulders. Boo! The sound I made next was not manly by any stretch, but Tyson got a kick out of it. Whoa, didn't think I'd get you that good. You're terrible. You turned the lights off on purpose. Me? Nah, never turn them on. My night vision is good enough to see in a basement just fine. I did notice that his gaze was unfocused, as if he were trying really hard not to close his eyes or squint. Yeah, and you totally didn't just blind yourself to scare me. Yeah. Anyway, there's not much down here. There's a gym. Only thing worth mentioning. Really? Just a gym? Well... Ty looked across to another door leading off from the room we were in. It was big, looked heavy, and honestly seemed out of place given how the rest of the place looked. Probably best if I just showed you. Come on. I followed Tyson too, and then through the door until we came to another room, smaller but with another door equally out of place. The hell? What kind of room is this? That's not it. Looks like there's a combination lock on the door, or like a password or something. I tried a few things just to see what would happen, but nothing. Just beeped angrily at me. Sure enough, next to the door was a little panel with a keyboard on it. So is the password a word? I guess. It doesn't tell us how many letters, though. It's nothing to let you know how many you can put in before it freaks out. Oh, wow. I pressed the A button on the keypad over and over, listening to the chime it made to confirm it had been registered. Or at least that's what I assumed the sound meant. After a while, though, it seemed as though nothing had changed. Wow, you're not kidding. That's just a door. No telling what's on the other side. And frankly, unless it's a buttload of gold we get to keep, I don't care. Too much effort. Well, I guess so. Still, my curiosity was piqued. Maybe something obscure. Unless you're a fan of The Prisoner. When I hit the enter button, much like Ty described, it just beeped angrily. Yeah, that's what it did for me too. Ah well, guess we'll never know what's behind it. Not without the password anyway. Like I said, only thing I care about is the gym. The fact that it's down here means I can stay out of the way of the others, yeah? Sure, until Sal finds it, then you might have a workout buddy. Just had to ruin it, didn't you? What? What did I do? You might get on with Sal. Well, he doesn't talk a whole lot, so he's got that going for him. I could only shake my head. I'm probably going to go do some weights until it's time to eat. The rest of the house doesn't interest me much. I'll see you later, yeah? Yeah, sounds good. As big as the mansion was on the inside, the garden stretched around the perimeter of the woods that surrounded the place. Even as I left the building proper, I could see the garden spanned far beyond what I originally given it credit for. Well, it's pretty great, isn't it? Dean and Sal were hanging out nearby, just looking around and taking things in. Didn't seem they were having much in the way of a conversation, with Dean practically rushing over the moment I stepped outside. Got a greenhouse too. I haven't had a proper look inside, but whatever's growing in there seems to be faring well enough. Hedge maze. With a single finger, Sal pointed out the hedges in the corner of the garden. Seems big. My eyes flicked across to Dean, who was already opening his mouth with a sly grin on his face, before noticing I was silently judging him. Well, not so much judging as wondering if he had to go for it every opportunity. Or maybe we should check it out sometime, maybe make a competition of it. Sal shrugged and continued looking around when I turned back to Dean. So, Dean, remind me, your family's in the lumber business, right? Well, that's the gist of it, yeah. Well, part of the family at least. Always just figured I'd go into the family business, moving wood, chopping down trees. What, and old Smokey is fine with that? Gramps used to be a firefighter. Wasn't much for the logging business, but understood you need wood to build houses. Dean's grandfather wasn't the Smokey Bear, but that's what we call him. Being a firefighter and a bear just makes that nickname kind of stick. Not that his grandfather said anything to dissuade us from using the nickname anyway. How is he these days anyway? Oh, he's good. Whole family is good, really. Don't get to talk to him a whole lot these days. You know how it is, yeah? I suppose that's true. Sal seemed to be listening in, but made no effort to contribute. What about you, Sal? Wrestling's still your thing? Oh, yes. And no. Physical therapy. Wrestling is a hobby. What, like wrestling on the TV, that sort? Yeah. I met Sal at the gym one night when I was working for a short stint to earn some cash. Turns out being a crocodile comes with a natural talent for submissions. Something to do with death rolls or something. Good exercise. Dean nodded appreciatively, wasn't sure what to ask, if anything, given how less than wordy Sal was being. Well, I'll leave you guys to it. With a wave from Dean, I headed back inside. Let's just wait for dinner now. Before I knew it, a chime sounded throughout the house. Given the time, it must have been a dinner bell or something to that effect. That or an extremely old-fashioned fire alarm. Oh, Dave, it's dinner time. Roswell was calling out from down the hall. From the sound of things, he was searching me specifically. Had all the others made their way downstairs? Come in. Roswell rushed ahead of me, taking the stairs the first floor two at a time, visibly excited again. As for dinner, it was easy enough to find. The smells wafting in from the dining room were too enticing to resist. I may not be a dog, but I can follow my nose. I stepped into the dining hall and was greeted by a spread of food far too impressive and grandiose for just a small group of us. "Dave, welcome! I don't mean to brag, but I reckon I did a great job of helping with dinner." "Wait, you made this?" "He helped." Orlando laughed nervously, with Sal's steely gaze reining in his boasting. As I looked at the table, it seemed as though everyone decided to spread out, having one, sometimes two seats between them and the next person. The table was huge, so it allowed us to spread out. But wasn't this a bit much? Eyes were on me suddenly. Seemed like they were waiting for me to start, but where to sit? So I'm guessing this is going to be kind of how we start off the routes, but I may be wrong. And we'll have to do this again in a bit when we choose different routes. So let's sit next to Dean. I could see him eyeing me off. Sly grin only growing bigger as I got closer. He didn't say anything, instead just watching as I put my hand on the back of the chair next to his. "Cool if I sit here?" "Oh yeah, go for it, handsome." I rolled my eyes, already wondering if I was going to regret sitting here. "Already with the flirting, Dean?" "Hey, it's not a date, but I'll take what I can get." Yeah. You know the deal, though." "Oh, I get it. Not looking for a boyfriend or girlfriend or whatever. Can't blame me for trying, though." To Dean's credit, he's been trying his best to ask me out on a proper date for a while now, changing things up every now and again. Sometimes it'd be coffee, sometimes dinner, but ultimately they all fall apart because of one thing or another. Well, can't blame you, no. I'm flattered, but you still come on too strong sometimes. Ouch. Oh, still in the friend zone, huh? Only if you don't keep it in your pants. Time and place, yeah? Yeah, like my room, tonight. I couldn't help but laugh. I'd gotten used to be able to tell when Dean was legitimately trying to flirt versus when he was just riling me up. Still, we got on well, great as friends, and if he ever managed to get himself under control, he'd probably make a decent boyfriend. So, settling in all right? Yeah, doing all right. This place is huge, though. Huge, huh? Oh, no one else is huge. Oh, God, Dean, no. Stop. Hey, I wasn't going to say what you're thinking I was going to. Oh, yeah? Then what were you going to say? Well, I had a look around the woods surrounding the place. Well, nothing more than checking out the tree line, but the woods seem to go on forever. How best to put it? Well, from the looks of it, you could maybe hike for a whole day and still get nowhere. No way you could see that far. How do you even know how far it stretches from the outside? Oh, trust me, I know wood. I groaned just as the butler from before came out wheeling a little cart, tray sitting on top with little domes sitting on with the top of each plate. Dean's attention was drawn to food, momentarily forgetting I was sitting next to him. Not that he's the only one staring at the food being delivered to each of us. I made everything to everyone's particular sensibilities. Master Orlando, helped. Down a ways at the table, I saw Orlando beam with pride. Although who knows just how much he helped, or even if he truly helped at all. I only knew him to know his way about baking and little else. If there are any issues, please feel free to call out, although I doubt you'll find much amiss. I batted Dean's hand away from the food laid out in the middle of the table, the bear feigning a hurt look. I should point out that the food on the table is made of wax for decoration's sake. Please refrain from trying to eat it unless you wish digestive issues. The butler wheeled his cart off right after, leaving us to our meal. Wow, this looks good. We'd all shared various gaffs and sound of oars as we lifted the domes covering our meals. The food presented to us better than we could have imagined. We'd best thank, Oh yeah, does the butler have a name? The question circled around the table, with Roswell seemingly getting a kick out of people guessing various names. Benson. His name is Benson, guys. Did you call Master Roswell? Benson was sticking his head out the door leading into the kitchen a mere second after his name had been said, almost as if he were listening into the conversation. "Oh, no, just introducing you, kind of." "Do not concern yourself with that, Master Roswell. I'm merely here to serve. Pay me no mind." Before Roswell could get a word in otherwise, Benson had retreated back into the kitchen, where sounds of pots and pans clanging together in what was presumably the sink echoed forth. "Benson, huh?" "I gotta admit, I was half hoping it was something like Jeeves or Alfred." "Why?" "No reason other than I'd find it funny, really." The rest of the meal went without issue, and when we were all done, Benson took away our plates and replaced them with desserts. Much to Roswell's delight, he did get pudding, and we left the dining room well fed and tired. "Well, I'm beat. Time to turn in, I think. I haven't eaten that well in a while." It was good. Very good. Restaurant quality, that's for sure. Or probably even better. "You're telling me. Perfect mix of restaurant and home cooking." "Benson is a very good cook. Probably better than Orlando." I winced, feeling Orlando tense up beside me. Still, the look on his face made it clear that he's finding it hard to disagree. Still, time for bed, I think. At least I'm with Dean on this one. Sidling closer, I felt Dean shuffle up right next to me before he wrapped an arm around my shoulder. "Oh, you're with me, are you? Knowing where I'm going?" "Back off, Bear." There'd been a few times I'd heard that tone in Ty's voice, angry, possessive. But it was enough to make Dean back off, mostly out of surprise. "Put it away, Dean." "As for you, Wolf, mind your tone." "What? You're looking to pick a fight over how I talk?" "If that was talking, I'd hate to have a civil conversation with you." Tyson and Orlando had evolved into snarling at one another. This was getting out of hand fast, and I wasn't really sure how to break it up. Thankfully, Sal seemed ready to step in and grab Ty into the arms, lifting him just enough off the ground that he couldn't do much of anything to anyone. As for Orlando, Hoss pulled him aside, and from the looks of things started running breathing exercises. "Sorry, I didn't. Maybe I should just go to bed." "Wait, there's something I wanted to pitch to everyone before we go to bed for the night." The declaration seemed to calm everyone down just enough that Roswell had the floor to freely speak. "So we're here for a month. Figure why not make a game of it while we're here?" "Oh, what sort of game? There's plenty to do here already, isn't there? I found some of the doors on the first floor open up to what looks to be a gaming room. So for entertainment was sorted, right?" "No, I mean something we can do as a group, something in teams." "So you planned something already?" "Well, no, but..." "You have plans?" "Yeah, I just want to run it by Benson first before we get into it, just in case. But only if we're down for something like that." "Well, I don't see the harm in a little game. I get bored of the gaming room in a month. Plus anything else, I'm sure." "Well, there's always the possibility we could explore the woods too. This would just be around the mansion, something to do in our downtime or whatever." "Sure, sounds good to me. Let me know if you get the go-ahead and if I can help at all." "Ditto." "Same here, but for now I'm going to go to bed." Dean shuffled off with Hoss close behind. "Night, Dave." Then Roswell. I'll sleep well, Dave. See you at breakfast." Then Orlando. Ty shrugged Sal off. The croc let him go freely before he skulked off. Sal shot me a look before giving a silent wave and heading upstairs, leaving me in the foyer by myself. As I stood there, I took another look around the grand entry. The furnishings, the stairs leading up to the first floor. If I were a princess, I'd feel the part in the castle easily. Well, I'd a dress, maybe, too. But still, something wasn't quite right. Something foreboding seemed to be lingering just beyond view. I felt the hair on the back of my neck stand on end, and I spun to see if Tyson was behind me again. But he wasn't. "No one's there, right?" Silence. Mr. Benson?" More silence. Maybe it was just tiredness. After all, there wasn't anything sinister here, right? We could trust Roswell's capacity to not invite us to a murder mansion vacation. Right. Nothing could have beat the side of my bed by the time I got up to my room. As soon as I lay down and my head hit the pillow, I was out like a light. And that was day 1 of Password. So I'll be going on with day 2 at some point. As it's a new VN. If you like what I did, let me know in the comments. And if you like what Grizz is doing, let him know in his comments on the Patreon, or even go and check him a couple of bucks a month. It's always appreciated. Until next time, bye for now.